Hi everyone, this is Brian Buckalew from Provision Studios, and I'm here today with the band A Steady Decline for our second episode in the In the Mix video series. Hey, good morning, fellas.
Good morning. Hey, how's it going?
I'm speaking with Alex and Cupcake from the band A Steady Decline. Hey guys, how would you describe your sound for all of our subscribers so they could get an idea of who you are and what you're about?
Um, Genre-wise, it classifies under metal. We're not quite sure exactly how we would describe it because we never really tried to set our minds on a certain style. We just wanted to make music that we enjoyed, but it does classify under some form of metal.
What is A Steady Decline all about?
A Steady Decline is all about making music that we can all enjoy as musicians, and we also love to put on a great live performance. And friendships are between band members in this band are very important. So we often hang out outside of music just to keep things, nice and fresh, keep our minds active, and we jam and write new stuff all the time. We hang out. We're just a bunch of friends that decided to make music together.
All right, well, that pretty much goes into my next question: is how was the band formed?
We've been going for about 2 years right now, and it was at the end of 2014 when I was contacted by Cupcake right here, and he asked me, "Hey man, you know any guitar players? I do vocals and bass." At the time, I had no idea of anybody that could fulfill that role, and about 2 weeks later, Spade, Andrew Hudspeth, the lead guitar player, he contacted me coincidentally and was like, "Hey man, I got a rhythm player. You know any vocalists or bass player?" I said, "Hey, I got just the guy," and that's pretty much how it happened.
Well, while we're talking about that, is there anybody else in the band that you want to mention? I mean, I know we got you two guys on screen today. Obviously, you just mentioned several other members. Who are they and where are they today?
Uh, we've got Scott Dice, our bass player, and Alex Farmer, our rhythm guitar player.
Awesome, awesome.
Uh, so far as where they are today, they're doing their personal life stuff right now. I
Good,
think
good deal.
Farmer might be at work. Scott might be doing whatever it is he needs to do
Okay.
at the moment.
Well, let them know I said what's up, please. They're both great
Oh, of
guys.
course.
They're both great guys, and I had a really good time working with you guys in the studio on both of them. They did a great job on their tracks. So let me ask
Love it,
you.
man.
Let me ask you this: where do you guys perform at? Like, if someone is in the area and they're watching this video and they're like, "Wow, Steady Decline, never heard of them guys." Where can they go to see you guys play?
Okay, well, we're based out of Dothan, Alabama,
Dothan,
and
gotcha.
we preferably right now we perform not too far away from that, the southeast region of the United States. We like to play a lot in Florida. We've been to Panama City, Tallahassee, Valparaiso, Pensacola,
Awesome.
and we are going to be looking to go abroad. Eventually, we'll look to do a tour. We'll probably go across the United States of that.
Awesome. And I'm guessing anything you guys are looking to do with that. I mean, that's going to be something where you would do with other bands, or you're talking about going abroad, on your own merit, or how's that?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna most likely pick up a couple bands that
Okay.
we've befriended along
Awesome.
this venture we've been
Right,
doing for
right,
the
right,
past
right.
two
Yeah, it's a
years.
journey for sure.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
without a doubt, it's fun, man. So far, it's a little rough in the beginning, but hey, it's only getting better from here.
Awesome, awesome. Well, let me ask you this. This will go more into what you guys do when you are together. What goes into writing a song? Is it a group effort? One guy presents ideas, etc. Try to explain to me the creative process that goes into an A Steady Decline original metal song.
Well, it's more or less it's a group effort. Usually, what goes down is our lead guitar player, Spade. He'll come in with some guitar ideas, and he'll start playing them, and Crockett here will start drumming to them, and then Farmer will put his spin on the guitar track, and Scott will come in with bass, and that's usually where I start writing all the lyrics. Is once I hear what they're doing,
Right, I got it. All
I
right.
start doing that. And me and Scott will figure out what we need to sing, how we need to sing it, what range. You know, I figure out where I scream at. Whether I need to scream high, scream low, in the middle.
It's a joint effort.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a group. It's a group effort.
So yeah, it's fair to say that it is a building process. You guys start and you build the song, sometimes from a riff.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you start some songs where you come up with a drum beat, and then someone jumps in with it. I mean, I would imagine that's how I used to like to work. As I tell the drummer, hey, just kick something, and then you start jamming along. And so do you guys jam much, or is it pretty much just you come in, okay, we're writing?
Sometimes we've made our to us, some of our best songs off of just freestyling amongst each other. We'll
Awesome.
start to practice up. We want to warm up, and we'll just all jam along together. And then, hey, man, that riff sounded really good.
Awesome. Right. See, that's cool stuff right there. That's what a lot of fans don't get to understand. That it's not like someone comes in and says like let's say for you, Cupcake, you come in and say, here's the damn song, you guys play it. It's some bands are like that, but the behind the scenes is there's a lot of sweat, there's a lot of hard work, there's a lot of it seems like endless sessions where you're just like, man, we got to get this right, The fans, they just see the finished product on stage. When you guys are talking about,
like it looks effortless, but it's like, man, we've messed up so many times before we got this right.
Right.
And hopefully we like to get it better. And it's always like at the end of a show, the fans will be like, hey, that's great. The people that were watching, that's amazing. And we just know to ourselves like, oh man, I did terrible.
Yeah.
Right.
So much.
Right. Well,
we got to be our own worst critic at the end of the day.
And that's what I was just getting ready to say. It's a good habit to be in. Is that as good as it is, you know that you can always do better. That's kind of the way I drive myself. What's next for A Steady Decline? You guys you came in here to Provision Studios. You recorded your EP. It dropped. You had your big live event. What's next?
Well, yeah, you're right. We did the EP, and immediately after that, it seems we did a live event called Heavy Fest, and then right now we're taking a break for the holidays. We're just gonna chill and be with our families, and we're looking to get back together when everything's calmed down and start progressing and writing new stuff and see where it goes from there.
Let me ask you this, since you mentioned it, tell me more about Heavy Fest, how it came about, how it went down. Will there be more events like it? Will a Heavy Fest be something you guys plan on having it as an annual event or biannually? I mean, tell me more about it.
Right. Well, this was the first year of Heavy Fest, and we kind of didn't know what to expect. And, this was a joint effort from the band. We basically reached out to other bands we played with, a couple other bands that, we knew from social media. And, we started about 2 months prior before the event. And, it wound up being a really fun event. A lot of people came out to it in Dothan. It was great, man. It was a 2-day event. We're looking to possibly do it next year.
Awesome. And let me just say, I applaud you guys for your effort in that. That's what this area needs. The bands coming together, not competing against one another. We all just want to play music. I mean, that's a given. If we all work together, all the bands work together instead of saying, hey, we're better than you. No, we're better. If we work together, it can go so much further, and hey, you guys doing that.
That's the name of it.
Right, and what you guys are doing with Heavy Fest, that to me is the epitome of local bands working together to make the local music scene better. And I applaud you for your efforts with that. That's phenomenal, especially your guys' age. I mean, you're young guys, you know what I mean? And to be that driven, that focused, and have that kind of mindset to say, hey, let's do something bigger than what's going on. That's forward thinking, and that'll get you somewhere, fellas. Let's move on to band's influences. What are some of you guys? You can give individual. You can give me the overall band, but just break me some of your influences so I know what to expect.
Well, me personally, I have a lot of influences. I used to listen to a lot of rap starting out. As crazy as
I
that
knew there was.
sounds,
I
has
knew there was.
nothing to do with metal.
I knew there was
I
something
mean,
about. I knew there was something about you I loved.
hey, keep it strong, brother. No, man, dubstep, I love that. But as far as like the technical aspect goes, drumming, I like Matthew Garska from Animals as Leaders. You guys should check
Awesome.
them out if you
Oh,
haven't. Really technical guy.
phenomenal. Yes.
Matt Halpern from Periphery. Luke Holland, a young cat. You know, he's really good on YouTube. Um, as I Lay Dying, that's a huge influence of mine. Avenged Sevenfold.
Awesome. Wow.
The list goes on and on, man. You should, if I could literally list all the names of the bands on my iTunes right now, you know, it
Right.
would take like 10 minutes.
Right.
But
Right. No, but I get an idea. I got a really good idea of your scope, so that's awesome. How about you, Cupcake?
right,
Well, like he said, we have a wide variety. You know, everybody's in this band has different influences, and you know, myself included. I never was into metal prior to this band. I mean,
Interesting.
I was just I was just starting to get into metal right before I met these guys, and you know, before that, it was like punk rock, rap, you know, grunge, and now it's, you know, I've opened my mind up to different stuff, and it's, you know, metal, acoustic stuff as well. You know, there's a wide variety, and so far as actual bands that influence us as a whole and myself included, you know, like I'm influenced a lot by Parkway Drive and stuff, and you know, every like I said, everybody in the band is influenced by different things, and we our sound is comprised of like all the stuff that we're influenced by meshed into one. So it's really interesting to see so many different influences combined into one thing.
Any chance
little
you
dream created the mix.
any chance you guys will work some acoustic into your sets?
Quite possibly.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome.
And you
Good.
just got a new guitar, so
I just bought a new acoustic recently, so
They're
it's
good.
more than likely bound to happen.
Yeah, those have always been my favorite kind of bands. Is the bands that aren't scared to stretch the boundaries. You know, like I asked you, I started the interview. I asked you how would you classify yourself, you know, stylistically, and but that doesn't. That's just a label. You make your own sound. You create your own genre, so to speak, and that's what you guys do.
Right.
You got the one thing I like about A Steady Decline is you guys are forward thinking. Not only like we talked about with Heavy Fest, but also in the way you write. You push boundaries. You try to step outside of your comfort zone, and that's very daring and it's very courageous. And you guys do it well. So,
thanks,
um,
man. Yeah, we
is
don't want to be bound to one genre.
yeah.
Not at all.
Right, right. Yeah, you don't want to paint yourself in a corner because then once you start getting more diverse, then you start upsetting a fan base or you alienate a fan base. Like, and so that's why I like to say, hey, you tell me what we are. You know, you tell me how we sound. You know, we're wanting to appeal to everyone or as many people as we can, a broad scope. Let me ask you this. Where can people go to find or hear more about A Steady Decline? This is your chance to plug the band.
Well, you can always check us out on Facebook at www.facebook.com/A Steady Decline Band. We also have Instagram. I think it's linked to that as well. If it's not, it's the same name, A Steady Decline Band.
Right.
And you know, you can message us anytime on our Facebook page. We all have access to it, and we'll all be able to read it. And you know, our Instagram has got videos of us up in case people want to check that out. So does our Facebook, and we also have a YouTube channel now, and we're, you know, starting to upload more and more stuff on that as time progresses.
And I'll put all those links right in this video, so whoever watches, they'll be able to click on them and go right to those sites.
Right on. I was about to say we just released a new EP, Predator, about a month ago, and you can check that out for digital download at Amazon MP3, iTunes. You can check some of our other stuff out on YouTube. We got all the songs up on there. The list goes on and on. Spotify. There's a
Right,
great
right.
deal of digital distribution companies that have it out there right now.
Do you guys have a website beyond the social media kind of stuff? You know, Facebook and you know, stuff like that. or is that something you hadn't really got to yet?
It's been talked about. We're in the process of working that out,
All
getting a
right.
website built.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. And again, that's another good way of sort of, you got one website's good for this, one networking site's good for this, one's good for that. A band website is a great way of pulling all those resources together into one place where you can drive merchandise. They can see they can buy
Right.
your LP. They can see your video. Anyway, I'm not trying to go off on that tangent, but I'm just saying that would be a great thing for you guys as you move forward, especially if you're talking about maybe going abroad and doing some shows. You can live
Right.
stream, and have all that stuff right on your website. That would be awesome. Is there anything else you guys want to add? I've pretty much got everything I wanted to get into this little tidbit of an interview. But if there's anything you guys want to add, I would welcome you now to add it.
Well, we enjoyed recording with you, man. You got an amazing studio, and we're gonna definitely come back and see you
Awesome.
again, man.
Well,
Without a doubt. I can't think of anything off the top of my head though.
let me ask you this then, and this is a little bit on a personal note for me. I know this was pretty much, I wanted you guys to show your best foot forward. Now, this will be a way for you guys to sort of scratch my back. You guys are a unique band in regards to Provision Studios because you guys recorded with me before I got the Soundcraft console, the Signature
Right.
Series console. You guys came in and recorded several songs on my digital interface, which was a Focusrite Sapphire Pro 40. Nothing wrong with it. But then you guys came in and did your Predator EP entirely on my analog Soundcraft Signature console. Can you guys, from your perspective, describe in a couple words or in a couple sentences the difference, if at all?
Yeah, man. For us, there's a significant difference in the quality of sound. Like
Wow.
the Soundcraft had a lot more warmth. The kick punched through a lot better. Vocals
Wow.
cut through. It really entirely everything just cut through the mix a lot better, man.
Wow.
I mean, it was great. It
Awesome.
was definitely well worth the money, man.
Awesome.
Without a doubt.
Well, that's more than I was hoping to hear. So, great job. I would like to say to everyone out there, some of that was because of me. It wasn't just no. I give all the credit to the Soundcraft. It's a great piece of equipment. So, but either way, all right, guys, I'm gonna close this interview. This was a great interview. I'm glad I was able to get both you guys in on this, and I look forward to many more opportunities to get with you guys. Okay.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man.
I
Hey,
appreciate it.
best of luck, and I'll see more from you guys soon.
Hi, this is Brian Buckalew from Provision Studios, and this is going to be the mix portion of the second episode of the In the Mix video featuring the band A Steady Decline. You could see the video the interview half of this video in the front. And if you've skipped ahead or if you've watched through, this is the portion of the video where I'm going to take one of the sessions from that recording of their EP and do a mix through on the song. These are the raw tracks. These are going to be taken a section at a time as I mix them. This is going to be over the course of several videos, but I'm going to start with the drums today, and I'm going to take you step by step what I do to get a song ready to be mixed in the initial phase. So first thing I do is I get my session in order. This is in this session, I was the recording engineer, so the advantage of that is that I recorded it the way I would want it mixed. In other words, I have all of my drum tracks right here in order. Then I have my guitars. There were, three guitars, three guitar tracks, but two guitars, a bass, and then a vocal. My effects are here, and these are post-session. During the actual recording, I used the effects off of the Soundcraft Signature 22 multi-track console in order to give the musicians what they wanted, to hear with reverb and delay. So these effects were not in the session, but they are part of my mix session that I will demo for you guys. And then I got my master and my click track. They recorded to a click track so that I was able to go in and do edits, inside the session wherever they needed to be. Let me go here and make that way for them. I'm going to go step by step over all this so you guys can see exactly what I do for my sections. Now, I'm not saying that this is how you have to mix. This is how I mix. So, I mean, I'm sure there'll be someone that'll say, "Oh, well, why did you do that?" Or, "Well, that makes no sense." Well, this is how I do it. This is my concept that I've developed over several years of mixing bands in large sessions, and this is what works for me in my workflow. All my faders are set to 0 because I am mixing on. Oh, this one isn't. Because I am mixing on the Soundcraft desk. Let me zero that out. So now they're all set to 0. Awesome. Okay. So I'm not going to be using these faders right now in this phase of the mix. I'm going to be mixing on the Soundcraft Signature desk. So some of the moves I'm making you'll hear things happening, but you won't actually see them. I'll be doing them on the analog console. So anyway, normally what I do is I get my drums and I create a group. So I select them all. Actually, you know what I'll do first? I'm going to create a VCA master right here. I'm going to double click on it. I'm going to call this drums VCA. All right. This is Pro Tools 12. VCA masters are a feature in Pro Tools 12. All right, then I select all my drum tracks. Option G, or I'm sorry, Apple G, selects the group, allows me to create the group. I got my kick, snare, tom 1, tom 2, tom 3, room, overhead 1, overhead 2. And then under VCA, I'm going to select drums VCA, and that will make this all part of my drum group. So we're all in group 1, and I'm going to rename that. I should have renamed it in the group dialog, and I failed to do so. Anyway, I'm going to call that drums. Okay, so now I got my drum group right here, and in parentheses you'll see it says drums VCA. So that lets me know that the drums VCA is part of that drum group. Okay, I will do the same thing with guitars. I'll select my last guitar track, go track new, select VCA master, and create. Double click on it to bring up my rename feature. Call it guitars VCA. I will select all my guitar tracks. Command G brings up my create group. I call it guitars. Go to my VCA, select guitars VCA. Make sure that all my tracks are there, which they should be because I pre-selected them. Click OK. Now I got my guitars. And you'll see here it's guitars, guitars, guitars. And the final one I'll do is vocals. I won't do one for the bass because it's just a single bass track, and there's no real need to create a group or a master or a VCA master for a single track. Anyway, again, I select my last track, track new, master. I'm not master fader, but I'm sorry, VCA master. Double click on it. Go to VCA, and I want to call this Let me spell it right. Vocals VCA. Selected my vocal tracks. Command G is the shortcut to create a group. I call this vocals, and I failed to select my VCA. Rush through it, sorry. So VCA there. Again, I should make sure my tracks are there. Got it. Okay, so now from a standpoint of mixing, I've got everything the way I want it, where I would need it to be. Everything's zeroed out. I mix with a stereo aux track prior to my master fader, and I call it a submix. And then this is where I put all my what I would not mastering, but my final mix bus plugins all go on here. So let me solo that, and this will go. Output will be my master. So everything flows into that. Now this won't be used right now as I am mixing out of the box. I am mixing in my analog desk. So for right now, this is not this won't be used right now. Okay. Anyway, let me get this thing started. Okay, I'm gonna solo out the drums. All right, that's the drums as they were recorded. And this is basically what we're looking at there. So you can see here on the video, I've got the master is selected for all of the drum tracks, and they are soloed on my VCA. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the master off for everything but the kick drum. I'm going to pull my faders down on everything, and I'm going to start working on the mix of the kick. All right. Now I'm going to bring my snare in. Alright, I'm going to jump to the overheads. I want to hear how they sound with everything. Alright, on track 6 I have my room mic. I'll bring it up. I'm going to turn off the overhead so I can hear just the room mic along with the snare and the kick. That's without the room mic. That's with the room mic. So I like what the room mic's doing there. Very good. Overhead's back in. And that's a pretty good drum sound. I like that. And these drums were recorded in my studio using the Audix F5 series, the Fusion 5 series microphones. So they're good mics, but I mean it's not like they're the best studio drum mics ever made. I'm just trying to get a good decent sound. I don't have the best room, I don't have the best mics, but as long as I can get it through my Soundcraft board, in my mind, I can get a good sound recording. So that's what I'm going for. All right, now I'm going to isolate on the toms and try to hear what I got going on there. I'm going to zoom in on that. All right, I'm just going to sort of repeat. I want this tom one hit. All right, now I want to hear how that sounds when compared to the kick and the snare through that section. I'm going to bring in the room and the overheads. All right, very good. Okay, now I'm going to go to tom 2. Got tom 2. Let me back up a little bit and give some play through. All right, very good. All right, now let me find the floor tom. Here's a floor tom. All right, let me concentrate on that, get that brought up and hear how that sounds. Okay, let's give a little bit of context with that. All right, okay, that sounds good. I'm going to start from the top. Do a little playthrough now that I've got pretty much everything where it sounds like, I'm liking what I'm hearing. Basically what I'm doing is I'm checking every move I just made and making sure that it sounds good through the whole through the whole song. All right, not bad at all. I'm actually really liking what I'm hearing there. All right, so what I would do now is I would go drum by drum on all 8 of these drum tracks. Now maybe not on the overheads, but I'll explain what I mean. I would go track by track, and I will print each track onto a new mono audio track to get the EQ off of my Soundcraft board. So basically, I would go new mono audio track, create, and I would call it kick print, and its input is going to be the print off of the Soundcraft board. And how I'm going to isolate the kick is I'm going to send on the board itself. I'm going to select the group 1 2 on my kick. It's channel 1. I'm selecting group 1, and then on that I'm going to raise that fader up so that and then I'm going to send that through to my master with that button so that I come through here through my print. And then this is my monitoring for that. Actually, you know what? I'm going to select. All right, there we go. So here was our regular track. And then here's our printed track. Again, it was level matched, so these are both with what I recorded and what I just was able to print with the EQs off the Soundcraft. It's not going to sound any louder. So I'm not tricking my ears thinking it sounds better on the print because it's louder. I can make a true determination based upon I'm hearing two tracks that are the same volume, and I'm really only listening to my EQ moves that I made on the console to determine if I've improved it or if I've did something that was improper, and that's what you'll see on some of these where it looks a little different is because this is a different the kick print here is a different EQ track. It's EQ differently. This is this kick track here is let me turn these off. This kick track here, what it is nothing more than how it was mic'd. So this was not treated at all going into the console. And this is the true print. So, and then again, I would go track by track doing that. I would do a snare. I may do a tom group. In other words, I would take here instead of going tom 1, tom 2, tom 3 print, I would maybe go create a stereo audio track and call it Tom's print, and then I would take analog 3, 4, and 5, route them to group 1 and 2, and then have this be the print, and then that would I would be able to send all of those into this. And then I would do the same with overhead 1 and 2. You know, I would do another stereo audio track. Again, call it overheads, print, and then I would send 7 and 8 to group 1 and 2. Again, make this print, and then I would level match each one of those until I have everything printed. New mono audio track, got it, create. Snare print. And then I would do these one at a time. I would not make it where I would print these all. Now I could do it by using the on the groups. I could separate them out groups, but I prefer to do them one at a time, or like how I have this. Pretty much a group at a time. I'm going to do like I did the kick, then I'll do the snare, then I'll do the toms, then I'll do the overhead, and I'll probably print the room as well. But I'm going to do other things with the room mic as opposed to just running it through the Soundcraft. I'm going to use this sort of as my parallel compressed track. So I'm going to do some cool things with this, but I'll definitely print it as well. I'll do a print on the room. Again, as a mono audio track. Call it room print. And again, oh, my mic went out. And again, what I'll do there is I'll go one at a time, and that's pretty much how I get my drums ready for the mix down. In the next video, I'll go to the. I'm not going to make you guys sit through the print. I showed you how I got a print, and then now I'm going to print all these tracks out, and then what we'll do is in the next video I'll do the guitars, and then probably guitars and bass, and then we'll do vocal. And then we'll from there we'll do we'll start mixing this stuff down. So thank you very much. Appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions, then please either write it in the comments here, or you can email me, Brian Buckalew at yahoo.com, and that's BrianBuckalew at yahoo.com. Thank you very much, and have a blessed day.